Good morning. Another lovely day, and unfortunately my light show isn't here today. It's big. I feel a great sadness in my heart. For real, that's one of my favorite times of day when they have the light show on. Anywho, let's get to business. So today I thought I was going to talk about a kind of this is gonna be a weird one. Hopefully it makes sense to you in some way, because it makes sense to me. I'm going to talk to you about role models. And you might ask, okay, Fredrik, what the hell does a role model have to do with programming? Just hear me out now. Okay, so myself, personally, have a really only one big role model in my life. Well, this has, take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt, because of course these things changed over time, but in the last 10 years at least, I've had a single desire or a single person that I have wanted to model my life after as much as I can possibly do. And this person is actually not alive. He hasn't been alive for a long time, but his name is Leonardo da Vinci. Now, before you go and thinking that I'm some pretentious Renaissance type of person who has a lot of deep thoughts and, can really only enjoy the smell of his own farts, well, I do that too, but for the most part, I'm not that guy. The reason why I look up to Leonardo so much is not because I know everything about him, or that I've studied him extensively, or any of those things actually. The reason why I think his life and the things that he kind of did is so amazing. Sorry. Yes, they're passed safely. Good for them. Keep on working, guys. You're doing a great job keeping our streets clean. Back to the topic. So why do I think his life has been so amazing? Well, because he's one of those people that I absolutely despise and envy and want to be like at the same time. And the reason why I feel that is because he was so goddamn talented. Like, my rule is that you can be good at one, maybe two things at most. Like, now when I'm talking good, I mean like genre defining. People are like admiring your work. You're allowed to be good at one thing. It's like Ryan Reynolds. I hate that guy too. You can't be like good looking, funny, and like talented and all these things at the same time. You make everybody else feel crap about themselves. And the same thing goes for Leonardo. A great painter, scientist, engineer, artist, and I mean, he had so many fields in which he was virtually a master. It's just beyond me how one individual can be so amazing at so many things. And I truly admire that. It's something that has just blown my mind since I was for so long. And it's something when I kind of realized that I've never been that type of person who can dedicate myself to one single thing for, indefinitely. When I was growing up, I played a lot of computer games, and today I see a lot of, guys my own age and even younger kids who are, they're going into esports, and they're actually, they're making some money and having a lot of fun, and I'm really happy for them. And I actually got that question a lot from my own friends when I was growing up. Well, Fredrik, why don't you start streaming your gaming sessions and try to make something out of yourself? Like, why don't you become an esports type of guy? And I said, the thing is that I love computer games. I really do. And I can tell you firsthand that it's only in recent time where I can actually go back and think, and because back in a few years ago, I couldn't even remember a day where I had gone without playing computer games for at least 2 to 4 hours every day. And that had been consistent since I was basically 8. But what I said to them was that I love computer games, but I don't love the same computer game all the time. I want to mix it up. I can play the same computer game for several years, and then all of a sudden I feel like, no, I want to do something else now. I want to try something different. And if you want to get really good at StarCraft or Dota or League of Legends or any of those games, you kind of have to stick with it. Because that's the type of time it takes, and the type of dedication, above all else, that it takes to be really good at something. So what does this have to do with Leonardo da Vinci? Well, the thing is, when I realized that I may not have what it takes to spend my entire life dedicated to a single concept and being a master of one single skill set, but I do have this gut feeling, this passion, if you will, this fire that makes me want to try things that I find interesting. I've been doing that since I was a kid, and I always thought that, hey, this is just me being flaky. I have no idea what I want to do, and I can't stick with anything. And the truth of the matter is that, I'm not going to claim that I became a master in everything I did, but I did give everything I did a real shot. I went in 100%. I didn't half-ass anything. I always went in 100%, and for the most part I stuck with it for long enough to build a little bit of a skill set. And some of it I'm still doing, which is of course increasing my skills as I go along. And that's what I realized, or rather that's when I started to realize that I could connect a little bit. Of course in no way saying that, Leonardo da Vinci is a genius of his time, or was a genius of his time, and I'm just some guy talking to you on his phone as he walks to the gym. But I can relate to Leonardo's, I'd like to believe, his desire and interest to basically, I want to believe that his way of thinking was the same. I would like to believe that somebody who gets so good at so many things has to be genuinely interested in a range of things. He didn't just specialize in one single field. He tried things. He enjoyed most likely what he was doing, and I want to believe that that's what it takes, or rather that's the type of person or the type of mentality that fits very well with the type of person I am. And so I look up to him because he managed to do these amazing things, even though the norm in our society is that, as I said, usually you only have one thing. Very few people can get that good at so many things. And I'm not dumb enough to think that I'll ever get to a point where I'm acknowledged in the same way, but I'm gonna give it a hell of a try. Because it's something that truly makes me want to get up in the morning, and it's something that makes me feel like I can basically do this for the rest of my life. So that's kind of the summary of my little rant here. I'm not trying to be, or rather I try to avoid letting the people who are telling me that, hey, if you want to make something of yourself, you have to, buckle down and dedicate you to this one thing. Instead, I have the approach of trying as many things as I can humanly try, and try to be as good as I can at them. And it's been working out pretty well. It's what is it they say? You only have one shot to make something of yourself. And my counter argument to that is basically, well, I figure if I try really hard at everything I like, I will have more than one bullet. That's just the way that I like to think about it. And you'll learn very quickly that I learned very quickly that this had an enormous amount of impact on my ability to be a software developer. Because most software developers, I'm not saying most, but a lot of at least the recruiters and the people who are, hiring people, actually find that a lot of the software developers out there in the world, they focus on something, and they get really good at it. You have server-side developers and front-end developers, and you have designers and UX people. And I found that I can get really effective, and I fit in most of the time very well with these different groups. Not because I'm necessarily the best of them, because I'm not. I mean, I work with some truly talented and inspiring people, but I always make an effort, or rather I find all of these things that I do on a daily basis so fascinating and enjoyable that I kind of naturally adopt these different fields, and I get an interest in it. I mean, I'm an amateur designer, if you want to call it that, which is basically me saying that I enjoy making nice graphical interface. I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy it, and I try to learn and like watch as many videos as I can, even though it has nothing to do necessarily or directly with programming. Same thing goes for a lot of stuff, and having that has actually helped me quite a bit. And it's also like, it's such a natural way, at least for me, to approach things. And so what I want to tell you with this is basically that if you want to try out a bunch of stuff, just go for it. Just try it. You can't lose. Try your best to be good at the things that you enjoy, and just do that and see what happens.